Hello guys, welcome back to Movie Reviews. This is the last episode for Series 11 and it's another double bill focused on one actor, of course. We talked about Jackie Chan in the previous one, now we're talking about Eddie Murphy. Oh yes. So, talk about one of his classics and one of his... It's sort of less to know, like sort of like a bomb, but it's sort of like been re-evaluated as like one of his interesting films, like a very underrated forgotten film. But we'll get there eventually. So, first up we got is Coming to America from 1988. One of his best films ever. A really good film, instantly, really good stuff. I really enjoy this. First time I watched it, first time I caught it was on a caravan holiday in New York. You know, I just put a channel on and this came on. Really good film, fantastic. Obviously it's produced by him, of course. Also he has a co-writing credit as well to it. Really good direction, really good music as well by Nile Rodgers as well, doing the score. And it's just basically, you know, like the story goes, an African prince wants to find his own bride, but he doesn't want his parents to choose which one, of course, but he wants to find her for himself. And one place he decides to go to is New York City, or it's either Manhattan, Brooklyn, or Bronx, or whatever. I think it's Brooklyn, actually. I think so. He ends up going. And his personal assistant, Simi, I think his name is played by the best, great Arsenio Hall as well, and they head down there, and all hilarity ensues just find the right woman. And he finds this secretary who is the daughter of a manager who basically runs a rip-off version of McDonald's called McDowell's, that's pretty funny. I think it's just, rather than just, like cause the marketing things for McDonald's, they try to make their own, of course, make McDowell's. That seems pretty funny, actually, pretty interesting, You should really do that more often in films, of course. Rather than pay sponsors, you just make yourself one, make a carbon copy of it, and thought, yeah, choose a different name, maybe you're right. So yeah, and he falls in love with her, of course. First time meeting her, he's mopping everything else and just being kind to her services. He's starstruck by her, of course. He does she does have a boyfriend called what's his bloody name? Daryl? Yeah, Daryl it is. Very kind of reminds of like Lionel Richie, but he isn't Lionel Richie. Bit of coward, of course, when he comes to that robbery scene with Samuel Jackson as that, that tramp with a shotgun, hobo with a shotgun. Oh yes, trying to rob McDonald's, and he's basically thwarted by Akeem and Simi. Akeem played by Eddie Murphy, of course. It's just really good. You got James Earl Jones as well, the father. Really good stuff, really. Down to the again Eddie Murphy and I think Arsenio Hall was bold, doing multiple characters, including the quartet of the barbers, the four quartet, what do you call it? The triple, the threesome, or awesome for whatever of those barbers. Really, again, pretty good, funny performances, of course. There's a whole black concert as well, like that singer, of course, about black power rights and stuff. That is pretty funny as well, actually, because yeah, man. Pretty good. It's bloody hilarious. It's really hilarious. It's sweet and hilarious. It is, It's hilarious at good points as well. Like it really catches the comedy well, and then it has its sweet undercurrent dramatic side as well, which is pretty good. I mean, it's just like a man, very rich and powerful, searching for a woman who's very sort of down to earth and very not, doesn't come from a rich family really, and yeah, but it's pretty good stuff really. A really good film, definitely worth catching. A sequel's just been filmed. And it's probably coming next year, I think, maybe late this year, early next year. I don't know really. Depends on if it's pushed back or not, really. So that's pretty good. I was quite surprised actually. Oh, we did a sequel. I was like, wait, what? And it's like, yeah, and there's actually a couple of filming pictures, of course. I think Murphy announced it, and Jimmy Fallon, he did, and say that Coming to America sequel is done and be ready soon, ready for release. It's like, okay, interesting. So that's Coming to America, 1988. One of his best films, probably in my top 5 favourite Eddie Murphy films of all time, and pretty good stuff. Really, very good. Just like first direction, brilliant story. Great acting, of course, of all time. So it's pretty excellent, fantastic. And then we'll go to the second one now. So this is Norbit. This is from 2007. So this is more like the sort of sophomore slump era of Eddie Murphy. During this time, of course, he was doing movies that really didn't do well, of course. I think he really probably started when he was doing, I think it's when No Professor 2 came out, the clumps, and then of course afterwards you have Pluto and Nash as well. You know, imagine that. Meet Dave as well, and they're not really, they're not really up to his standards really, unfortunately. But I watched Norbit recently on Netflix really, because it just come on. I thought, now I do remember Norbit. I remember getting a pirated DVD copy of it many years ago. 2007 probably came out, so over 10 years ago. And I didn't really bother seeing it, unfortunately. I don't know why. I remember reading the plot, of course. He was like, well, let's go for it. So the story goes is, there's Eddie Murphy plays a guy called Norbit who's stuck in a hellish marriage with Rasputa. How you doing? All that sort of stuff. It's like, that's sort of a catchphrase of hers, really. Some just big, meaty fat girl. Very bad attitude, glamorous bad attitude and stuff like that. It's like, and it's sort of like Norbit's sort of the weak husband, really, to his marriage, really. And of course, he's planning to just move on away from her, even though he's working for her brother's company as well, construction company. But he meets up with his old childhood sweetheart, Kate, who basically they were basically raised in an orphanage. They did for many years as kids. Not, of course, this orphanage was run by some Chinese restaurant owner. I forgot who it was. I think it's the guy from Lethal Weapon 4 plays a guy called Jimmy. I think it is actually. Yeah, probably the same guy. Restaurant owner. Uncle Benny. That's it. Oh, I say Jimmy. No, it's a different one. No, Uncle Benny. I think from Lethal Weapon 4, and obviously raised the kids up in a in a restaurant, a kitchen, very much is a bit strange. We had pets, but they end up going missing. And there's a scene of him as a little kid just playing around in a kitchen with a hen or with a chicken. The chicken gets swiped up, it gets decapitated. You you see it, but it gets its head cut off. You think, and they went missing. So they die quickly or something like that. In fairness, of course, I think Norbit basically meets Rasputin. He sort of texts him as this big massive girl, and then of course they end up having a relationship. Of course, end up getting married, and as time goes on, he just wished to escape really. Again, pretty interesting stuff because it sort of goes in that sort of thing with Nutty Professor, and probably again to come to America to precisely really because Eddie Murphy playing multiple roles, playing females as well, of course, trying again playing Rasputin as well. And yeah, it's actually a pretty good film really, because you have like Tandy Newton as well as Kate as well. I forgot the boyfriend's name who the guy plays him as well. Very seedy, very sly guy, but again pretty good stuff. All to do, so you got that sort of thing of like trying to get away from a very destructive marriage really, and also a thing of like Kate's new boyfriend, when she comes back into town, is planning to get rid of the orphanage, the Chinese restaurant, and Rasputin's brothers and Norbit's brother-in-laws are basically sort of plotting as well. So, and it's pretty interesting. It goes like that. It goes into sort of like the weird. You can go to the sort of like comedies, of course. Like it's very much sort of slapstick, very toilet humour type stuff, really, which is alright. Really, it's not very bad stuff, really, and yeah, pretty. It goes a bit bonkers in the climax of when I think when Kate gets married to whoever, Norbit basically tries to come to rescue by stealing a bike, pinching a bike, and end up going to being chased by Rasputin's brothers, even though they locked him in a cellar prior to that. And yeah, pretty interesting, and the fight scene, of course, between Rasputin and the townsfolk as well and the brothers is quite cartoonish, so to speak. It's basically bonkers, and they go like Benny Hill afterwards when they're trying to escape. It's like, oh god. I mean, I don't know if that's maybe just a thing really, or just how it's directed or anything like that, but it's a bit strange really. But overall, it's a pretty underrated film. If you look at Eddie Murphy's films from the 2000s, I'd probably say this is sort of recommended, really. I know people might probably mix it and think, it's a decent film, but other people probably think it's like, nah, it's rubbish, it is. It hasn't got the same charm as his old films, that sort of thing. It's fair enough, really, but So really. Norbit, 2007. I've been talking about that along with Coming to America from 1988. So the Eddie Murphy double bill, one of his all-time greats and one of his sort of underrated gems, really. Sort of divisive gem, really, to be honest. But thank you for watching, guys. Movie Review Series 11 is finished now. I'll carry on with Season 12, of course, and other bits and pieces as well. So yeah, pretty good stuff so far. Glad to be back on the swing of things. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, as always. See you in the next video, and goodbye.